Today, we are going deep into one of the most powerful chapters in the entire Hebrew Bible, Leviticus 19. At first glance, it looks like a dense, ancient legal code. But when you unpack it, you find a stunningly detailed blueprint for what a just and compassionate society could actually look like. You've heard this phrase before, love your neighbor as yourself. It is easily one of the most famous ethical commands in human history, quoted by philosophers and civil rights leaders for thousands of years. It feels universal and timeless. But the actual source is the ancient, often intimidating book of Leviticus. How do we get from ancient laws to this famous line? Let's break it down. It all starts with Section 1, the call to holiness. This foundational idea governs the entire chapter. The command is given to the entire community to build a society that mirrors the character of God. But what does holy even mean? The Hebrew word kadosh doesn't mean super religious. It means to be set apart, to be distinct. The idea was for Israel to be completely different from all surrounding cultures. How does this actually play out? The first expression deals with fundamental relationships. What's interesting is how the social and the spiritual are completely woven together. Respecting your parents is right there on the same level as observing the Sabbath. In this worldview, how you treat your family is just as important to your relationship with God as how you worship. Now let's move to the absolute heart of the chapter, where holiness translates into a radical social code. It starts with economics. Landowners are commanded not to harvest their fields with 100% efficiency. They had to leave the corners of the field and the dropped grapes. This was a mandated social safety net built right into the economy, designed to provide for the most vulnerable people. Then it shifts to labor rights, commanding prompt payment. For a day laborer in the ancient world, that day's wage was literally their food for that night. Withholding pay was a direct threat to their survival. The ethic goes even deeper. It commands proactive protection for those with disabilities. You have to be mindful and actively remove obstacles from the paths of the vulnerable. This might be one of the most astonishing commands in the whole chapter. Foreigners and immigrants are to be treated with the exact same rights and love as a native-born citizen. The text even tells you why. Remember that you were once foreigners in Egypt. It is a profound call to empathy based on their own collective memory of hardship. How do you get to such a high ethical standard? The text is smart. It clears away the negative stuff first. It says you must root out hatred, revenge, and holding grudges from your heart. After all these commands about justice and fairness, we arrive at the positive culmination. Love your neighbor as yourself. It isn't a standalone suggestion. It is the absolute pinnacle of a whole system of social justice. Finally, what about the strange laws like prohibitions against tattoos or wearing mixed fabrics? The chapter has two kinds of laws working together: timeless ethics, like don't steal, and cultural markers. Neighboring nations tattooed themselves to honor their gods. By forbidding these specific practices, the Israelites created a distinct cultural identity, visibly setting themselves apart. And every rule is anchored by the divine signature, repeated 16 times. I am the Lord. Leviticus 19 isn't a random list of do's and don'ts. It is a holistic blueprint for a distinct community, weaving together worship, economic justice, and cultural identity. If the point of these rules was to reflect justice and compassion, what would a holiness code for the 21st century look like? And what are the specific, distinct practices that would make your own community truly just and compassionate today? Take a moment, breathe, and let them sink in.